Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages who probably shouldn't be watching this podcast, Duffers Review 19th Hole. With that being said, this is the Duffers Review 19th Hole. This is where basically Duffers come together and we talk about what's happening this week in golf. Every week I like to come in with new different, subject lines, what's happening in golf this week. I always try to share it with fellow Duffers as we come to the table to get their insight and everything that we're talking about. We're only going to keep it down to three major subjects this week. But when you bring in such shenanigans like this, and what we're getting ready to review, you always got to bring in a crew of absolute nonsense to the table as well. With that being said, I have Colin and Nick from the Reno chapter of Duffer Nonsense joining me this week into the Duffers Review 19th Hole. And I'm going to get banned 30 seconds within getting on here because Colin's already doing some nonsense. But with that being said, he thinks I don't pay attention or notice. Let's bring these guys to the stage.
Oh.
Colin and Nick, how are you doing this week?
What's up, man? Doing great. I just had to get dressed real quick. Sorry. Or undressed.
First of all, broadcasting on 3 different channels. I mean, we got Facebook, we're in here on YouTube, and on Twitch. I'm pretty sure Twitch has a very strong structure or line around skin exposure and ways and stuff of that. I think if you start the stream one way, it can go or whatever, but I haven't looked into those rules. So for the sake of people not having their eyes bleed, keep your clothes on there, Colin. Keep your clothes on.
I'll try, man. It's difficult for me.
It's really, yeah. When you're the vibe guy,
100%.
Yeah. You just got to stay comfortable in your own skin. You know what I mean?
How are you guys doing? It's been like 2 weeks since we last chatted here in the 19th hole. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic, as always.
Yeah, doing great, man. It's weather's nice here.
No, it's not. It's getting cold. I'm a fair weather golfer.
Well, wait. Let me rephrase that. Earlier this week, it was cold as balls.
Can't say that on Twitch.
I'm sorry. It was cold as
I think what we say is fine. We're definitely in that category of you can say what you want.
Okay. Well, okay.
A little bit another, taking.
Yeah, earlier this week it was cold. In our line of work, especially, we had to be out at the hangar one morning. You go out that time all the time, but I had to be at the hangar at 5 a.m, and it was blistering cold. We're talking like 38 degrees. It was, a swift change from when you were here, when it was, 80, 90 degrees and sweating our nuts off. It was careful.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's the weather I prefer to play in, right? That's the anywhere between like 65 to shy of 90 is perfect golf weather.
You're in Arizona, bro. Like that's your.
It's 102 right now, so I don't. Okay, I wouldn't be playing.
Okay, so maybe no golf right now, but that's like, that's like fall winter for you. Whereas like we have to gauge now what good golf. Like today would have been decent golf weather. I mean, it was like 73 degrees. Perfect. It would have been great.
Wind. Yeah, it was nice.
And it was a great day for launching airplanes.
But we had to work instead. So.
So let's ask this question for those that tuned in about 2 weeks ago. Nick, have you cleared out the spot in the garage for the new whip? Has it arrived?
Technically, yes, I have cleared out the spot because it's going to be the spot that Marcy currently parks her Land Rover in. Because when that thing comes, she's out. Sorry.
Can I say cuckold on Twitch?
So right now, it's the excitement of hitting a hole in one has yet to pay out its fruits of its victory.
True. Yes, it's this gruesome process that just like it kind of eats your soul a little bit. it's
Insurance.
yeah,
Legality.
yes. It deflates like the whole initial. I mean, the way it went down was when after I hit the hole in one, we went back to the clubhouse, and everybody's celebrating. I didn't. The number one rule is if you hit a hole in one, you have to buy drinks for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. The guy, one of the guys that put the tournament on, was so stoked that he came out. He's like, "Oh fuck yeah! Like I'm buying drinks."
Name drop here.
Oh well, that was Dane from Bay Equity. He was awesome.
Dane, Bay Equity, you're awesome, dude.
Yeah,
You buy booze.
Yeah, he was like threw his card down. He's like, "I'm buying drinks," and so we were all stoked. And then, the tournament manager from that particular golf course came out and mumbled the words that there was a possibility that me getting the car wasn't going to be a thing because the yardage, the tee box wasn't the right tee box, or the yardage wasn't correct, or just kind of weird stuff. But the way that this goes down is they have to, every big sponsor that gives up a big cash or big large value item, they buy this policy through this insurance company, Hole in One International, and then if someone actually gets it, there's a claims process. They interview all the witnesses. They have to sign affidavits, get them notarized.
Take the fun out of it.
Yeah, really, they do. So it's like, part of me is like, I just want to be so stoked about hitting a hole in one in this lifetime, right? Which I am. But it just happened to be a hole where I'm supposed to win a car, and
So it's still up in the air, is what I'm hearing here. It's still up in the
He's
air.
still driving a Kia Soul.
I'm still driving my commuter car, which is a 2010 Kia Soul,
The
Hey,
one with the hamster commercial.
Yeah.
At least you held on to that. At least you weren't like screw it and toss the keys out and be like, oh yeah, I'm waiting for my ride.
Yeah, totally. Which, and thank God I still have my truck for the weekends.
Right?
Yeah.
So what lesson learned here is what we're really kind of finding out is once you get to the point of having to, get insurance for the hole in one. Right now, at least for the Duffers Review Las Vegas Challenge, it's, it comes down to the legalities of the, the wallet of the wife and making sure that we make it successful to go. But we're making it happen. I mean, one way or the other. Now,
I got to tell you, man, not to interrupt you, but I have to tell you, as exciting as that whole thing was, I was telling Colin the other day at work, I wish that I would have done that the weekend before, because I know for a fact that if I hit a hole in one in front of all you guys, you would have looked at me and said, okay, well, I guess we're going to Vegas, and it would have happened. Like,
absolutely.
We probably wouldn't even be doing this podcast from
was-
Marina.
I-
We would be
I-
in Vegas right now doing stupid stuff.
I can make a disclaimer. Absolutely. Where's my bond? I would make that happen. Would it happen the next weekend? Probably not. We are very strategic on making sure that we get everyone scheduled, flights, all the the logistics of doing it. But we would make it happen. Absolutely. It is a trip that would go down in history.
Dave, we'd be there right
now. So I hope it happens.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I almost probably I feel like if I get you on here, you guys hear more and more. This might become one of those this week on the Subaru, or it's not a Subaru, it was the Audi saga.
I mean, if you
sounds like a spinoff.
if you want to do weekly check-ins, I'd be happy to tell you about where the progress is, because apparently they want to make it when it happens. They want to make this big production out of it, right? Like it's going to be all over Reno, all these sponsors. They want to recreate the moment. And I'm like, dude,
just give me the keys. Just say, hey, give me the keys, give me the car. When you figure all that stuff out, I'll drive it there. It's
Well, and
meet you in Vegas.
yeah. We might have to do, if they do a big thing, we might have to freaking make sure that it happens when the 19th hole is broadcasted, so we can just do get a little, tripod set up and be like, hey guys, it happened.
I'm at this point, tell them to give you the keys, and meet you down here, and we'll shoot it here. We'll go take it up to a course. We'll reenact the whole thing.
Him and I will be there, dude. Give us 8 hours? 12 hours? How long is the drive?
It's like freaking 10 to 14 hours to get to.
Well, maybe if we're, having enough fire
10 to
under it,
14. It's quite a range.
We'll get there in 10.
Anyways.
Yeah.
The excitement of it all is like I said, you at least, like I said, you got hey, everyone got drinks, you got to do the party after this. It would have been cool to have them hand you the keys right then and there, and you could have drove off the course. That would have, sold millions, in the fanfare for what it was worth.
Oh, for sure.
With that being said. All right. I'm going to shift here just a little bit. Here we go. That's what we really came here to talk about today. The Ryder Cup.
Oh, shut up.
Gosh, so much. Let down and drama behind this. I can at least, this is what I'll open up with this. The Ryder Cup did not let down.
No.
As far as drama off the course. There was more drama off the actual gameplay than there was an excitement on the course. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I saw snippets of stuff. Yes.
Everyone I think we saw, Rory McIlroy and Cava, which is a caddy, kind of blow up on the green. I've seen the clip from 16 different angles. My take on that is Rory was more upset that a caddy was boistering up and trying to get the fans excited than it was the U.S. team itself. Because the U.S. team itself was obviously out on vacation. They checked out for this tournament in every way, shape, and form. I think that is what bothered him more than anything, because he was nowhere near Rory's line. He wasn't in front of the cup back, but he was off to the side. Every 16 different angles showed he had nothing to do with Rory's actual putt. So I don't know where his angst of that was, other than it was a caddy that was doing it on the green. Now,
Rory's an emotional player, though. He always has.
He's an emotional player, but they were also up like four with 3 to play or something. Like, it was crazy. It was like,
It doesn't
seriously,
matter.
they're trying to get some sort of, at least to me, it was like, hey, let somebody, put some kind of spark in Team USA. If it's not the damn captains of the players themselves, like, dude, you're running away with this tournament. And here's one thing I have to say I thought was maybe like subtly brilliant, is it wasn't broadcast anywhere. It was like, thank God they didn't have this thing playing like a normal Masters weekend tournament. Like, it was hard to find to watch. And as miserable as watching all of it was, I was like, man, thank God this wasn't on prime time or something else, because it was just an absolute ass kicking. Like day one, 6.5 to 1.5. And the 1.5 points were all half points. So much so you couldn't win a single point by itself. You had to scrape a half point by just coming in and barely doing your job.
Yeah. And that has to do a lot with maybe because here's the deal. There's so many elements that come into play. I feel like, you have the hype of playing kind of like semi-home turf, and, you've got all these like crazy European fans out there that are hyping up. I mean, there was a lot of fans for US too, but
here's the thing. I actually thought the crowd was split. I didn't think there was.
I kind of thought there were more European fans than the US fans, but and it was a clash, right? Like, you might be right. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, but I think
to your point on that, I think why is because Europe was just kicking everyone's ass. I truly thought the moments where US was making some sort of move, it was a good USA versus Europe fanfare. Problem is, just like any game, right? I mean, any game, if you're the team that's losing, you really are not barking that much. You're just kind of licking the wounds in hope.
Well, but I agree with you, but I also feel like the caliber of uh, players out there, and it's not, this isn't me trying to be all patriotic. I do believe that the caliber of players, I mean, there are amazing players that come from Europe left and right. I mean, as we saw, but I feel like the caliber of players that the United States had out there should have, knowing their potential, in my opinion, they should have freaking like dominated. And like you said, they may have just been on vacation mode. I don't know, but
So
I don't.
there was a lot of speculation behind the scenes, and there's a lot of commentators, sports commentators, that obviously watch the sport closer and have more, I guess, insight and or ability to the players, players camps. A lot of them didn't practice. 5 weeks between the last major of the year to the Ryder Cup, a lot of them didn't play as much golf as they should have. Where they showed, well, a lot of them, like I said, Rory even said he played all 5 weeks. He played. He said he continued to play. He played tournament, style golf. Like he played it as if to not let it come off season. The Ryder Cup in his mind was the end of the season, right? It was playing. It wasn't a time for a break because they were representing Team Europe. There's so many photos online and throughout that were like, hey, you would see Team USA standing there, and it kind of looked like you two right now. Just here we go, right here. We're supposed to be here. Yeah, you look at Team Europe, and then they're hugging. They're in the shots. They're like they looked like, and it looked like and this was even before they were ahead in points. Like they looked like a team coming to play. And here's the reality of it: half of Team Europe. I told you guys here 2 weeks ago. I didn't even know who the hell their names were. Right? I didn't even know who half of them were. And all of them showed up and played as a team together. Like there was no doubt in my mind after day one that we were going to see all the way through Sunday.
So here's a question for you. Let's say, given like U.S. Open or some major tournament of that magnitude, where you have, Europe against the United States here on our home turf, no matter where it is.
Okay,
Right?
so next year it's at Beth Place back, New York.
Okay, so given that, do you think that knowing that this big of a tournament on home turf is coming, you want to show up, you want to show your fans, not only your personal faithful fans, but you want to show, the U.S.
Home field advantage.
You want to show that home field advantage is what makes a difference. So you're practicing, whether you're Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson,
You're not jet
Tiger
lagged.
Woods, like,
you have actual fans.
yeah,
in the
you're
stands.
working. Yeah,
You know.
you're practicing, all 5 weeks ahead of the game to make sure that you're representing where you are. So that almost makes you wonder, like, is that really what the motivation was behind that? Like, so if when they come here, are our boys going to do the same thing?
So, just so I can rephrase your question, do I believe the Team USA next year will put in the same efforts that Team Europe did this year?
The same excitement.
The same excitement with home field advantage, home turf advantage.
Here's realism. If let's say this year was here, Bethpage Black, I think the outcome would have been the same.
You think what?
I think the outcome would have been the same.
Why?
Because Team USA at no point showed like they were there in any interest of the game. There was more controversy or conversation about Kentley not wearing a damn hat. No one was talking about gameplay. Nobody was talking about these guys look rusty as hell. No one was talking about that that like they actually prepared themselves for this tournament. And again, I think this goes back to the point we talked about 2 weeks ago on this is the first Ryder Cup that everybody wasn't actually put into the mix. You had one live player, right? You didn't put the top golfers to represent Team USA in there.
Liv has changed the game. I agree.
I think next year, everybody's gonna have it. They shit the bed so bad this year on the Ryder Cup, period. From broadcast to who got selected, how they got selected, that next year that stuff will get corrected. It'll definitely be corrected in next year. Bethpage Black, New York. It's gonna be one of the most epic, Ryder Cups you're gonna probably come to see, right? Because it's being done in New York, right? I mean, you couldn't ask a better, especially after coming back off of a loss, right, and not bringing it back home. You couldn't ask for a better venue to stage it. But I think it's going to be shook up. I think there will definitely be more live players. Whether it's still live is a venue or not at that point in time, I think you're going to have a true assessment of the top players in the world to be selected for the Ryder Cup team. I think that's going to make the major change and difference going into next year. To me, there was a little bit of, you guys remember the American Dream Team? First time ever they let the NBA players play in the Olympics, right? Everyone remember the Dream Team, right?
Yeah, of course.
The first year, they took it serious. They took it to, holy crap, we are representing the United States of America. Some of the interviews, and you had some of the best rivalries ever to be put under one uniform, squash all that nonsense and play for the American gold. Dominated, right? The problem was
America.
right? 100%. But does anybody remember this the second Dream Team?
Yeah, no.
No. Well, you know why? Is because it
fell off.
It's not just they fell off. They still went and did a good show. But they didn't go undefeated. They didn't go uncontested, winning games, 100-20. Like, there was such a dominating force in the first Dream Team that all of a sudden, by them allowing, NBA players, the best of their sport to play, it became this assumed win. And they showed up like, oh, we're going to be just as good as Jordan, all those guys. We're the professional NBA players, and started to get their asses handed to them.
So do you think that that's what our boys on Team USA did in this last Ryder Cup? Do you think
I don't think they were
showed up with cockiness and like?
Nope. I honestly don't. I don't think they showed up to play. Period. It was the wrong team compiled with this. I mean, look at it. I mean, here's the thing: is I can at least say the last Ryder Cup, Tiger. Well, I mean, these guys were all over the court. All the assistant coaches were in their faces. They were like, "Hey, you step up." They're doing this. This one, it was like they were fans watching fans. I didn't see Johnson get angry once. Furyk was just like, "Hey, we're cool. We're going out to get some Italian afterwards." There was no fire.
They were just taking shots afterwards.
You know what I'm saying? There was just no fire from Team USA to the coaching set. Nothing. And there's what makes matters worse. And this is what I always think is the funniest. And I saw this even last night on Thursday Night Football, when a commentator who's hired to oversee the event starts going like, "Hey, why don't you just put me in? At least I have more fire to play for this team," right? That's when like, dude, you've not only lost the fans, you've lost the people that are paid to sit here and talk about pro USA, right? They've jumped off the bandwagon of like, are we this is what we're commentating? Like, you want me to talk about this? All right, well, here's so-and-so up to the tee box again, who doesn't give a shit, and he sliced it out worse than the Duffers of old. Like, it was just such bad form all the way around. It was one of the least watched Ryder Cups in history. I don't
want to go down the rabbit hole here, but I am.
Don't.
No, here. Look, I am always Team USA, right? It was a letdown by the picking of the teams, the showing of play that they came to it. I'm here, and so let me ask this question: you all saw Ricky concede the last putt that gave basically the Ryder Cup to Team Europe.
Yep.
Would you have conceded the putt, or would you have made him putt it?
But
And that's hard for me to say because, like I mentioned, Ricky Fowler's one of my favorite golfers, and
Love Ricky. I would have never conceded that putt. You would have putted that bitch out.
I don't know why he did it. I don't. But
here's my honest theory. And again, I mean, I'd love to get Ricky on and ask him straight up, or find somebody to ask him straight up. I think they were playing so shitty for so long, he didn't even realize he was conceding the winning Ryder Cup putt. Everything in my core, I'm going, there's no way in the planet.
Maybe.
Just handed him.
That totally could have been it. Maybe he just thought he would concede because of where he was at that point in the game. But it's at the end of the day, you got to think about motivation, right? And there was in my mind, there's a lack of motivation for a specific reason, because you and him and I both know that if these boys have fire under their ass, when they're on, they're on.
You don't negotiate with terrorists.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I don't want this conversation to. I'm not saying by any means I'm better than these guys as a pro golfer.
You better
right?
not.
No, they can on their worst day of playing there, they would still beat me, any day of the week there.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if you go look at any tape of Ryder Cup, what this tournament is supposed to bring to the table, right? There was no fire. There was. I don't know if you guys. I don't know.
That's totally fair to say.
Yeah, that's the big mystery. I mean,
so here, and I don't know if you guys saw this or not. There was more fire. Was it 3 days afterwards? Did you guys see this?
No.
Ryder Cup Stadium or whatever burned down.
Oh wait, I did see that, dude.
I didn't see that.
I saw that yesterday. Stadium? Yeah, the freaking the stadium.
The grandstands or whatever. So burned down. They burned out the grandstands. There was more fire afterwards in the event than there was during the event.
Straight up dumpster fire.
100%. So again, this whole point, the Ryder Cup to me, as we were stating here, it was a letdown. Called it 2 weeks ago. It would have had to been all 12 guys firing in all cylinders to come out and play. Here's what's so sad about it is, I think 2 players won 1 point. Is that right? Everything else was like ties. I don't think anyone other than 2 players actually won a point on Team
I think I remember reading that, yeah.
Stop it. You're hurting my feelings. Next topic.
Again, pro USA. I wanted USA to win it so bad. I sat there.
Next topic.
I sat there in such angst watching Ricky and Morikawa play. Lowry. I'm just like, oh my God, this is so bad to watch. Like, are we kidding here? Like, this was.
And see, Kate, so that I'm going to stop you because again, that actually triggers another thought that Morikawa is one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most underrated golfers on the tour. I think he is phenomenal. Like, he is such. Not only is he an amazing golfer, but I've seen videos of him off the course, on the course. Very humble, just a random, just not random. He's just a good dude. Like I've seen some good shit about Morikawa.
Here's the challenge.
And when that dude is on it, when he is on it, he is on it. So that's why I'm saying these dudes did not have that
100%.
fire.
It was a letdown. It was 100% letdown. They were not on it. They didn't bring their A game out any way, shape, or form to play as Team USA. And what makes matters even worse is it's the clubhouse. I mean, you heard it all the way through the week. Oh, there's something going on through the clubhouse. Oh, there's like this and that. That you go look at when they let the behind the scenes, half of the Team USA wouldn't even take on let them be talked to by Netflix. So Netflix Full Swing was there, right? They're doing the second season and everything on this. So getting ready to wrap it and get ready to get to the next thing. They were like, nope, we're not talking to them. Wouldn't allow them to be mic'd up. All of Team Europe was like, bring it on from jump. And this is what it was like. So guys, you guys didn't even show up with confidence to let Full Swing to even film you, good or bad, right? I challenge you to go look at Morikawa's episode on season 1, Full Swing, if you haven't watched it. And I'll ask you next week if you agree with the same statement you just said right now.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of behind the scenes on Morikawa that comes out in Full Swing that I would disagree with the statements you just placed out there.
So I haven't gotten that far, but I will tell you how I feel once I do, because Marcy actually really enjoys watching it, and I mean we both do. And there's one person, and you know who I'm talking about when I say this. There's one person on season 1 who, in my mind, like he's an amazing golfer, right? But I think he's just on season 1 of Full Swing. In my opinion, he just seems like this bougie jackass, and he's probably, if he ever watches this episode, he's probably gonna hit you up and say, we're gonna have words, but do you know who I'm talking about right now?
If you're talking season 1, wasn't that JT, Jordan Spieth and JT?
No. Nope.
Oh.
That was season 1, episode 1 was Frenemies, and that was JT and Jordan Spieth.
Okay, so maybe it was the second one.
Win or Go Home was Kupka. So here's the thing is, I don't know if you guys watched this. We did a full breakdown of every single one. We'll be doing it again here on this channel of every episode of Full Swing. All the Duffers came in and gave their 10 cents after each episode. What is your statement on that? Because I believe he is an athlete, by all means.
No, there's 100%. See, so
he's a competitor.
Yeah,
sure.
my mind goes in two different ways. Like, on one side, it's like, okay, he's just putting his head down. He just wants to be the best. He wants to be competitive, and he wants no distractions, right? And, when you watch this stuff with your wife, she's always got her input too. And
we brought in both sides of things. We had Barbara, we had Dustin, we brought the female perspective to
So hear me out. So because, like, I remember, so my dad, as you know, he's he loves golf. Like, he loves playing golf, loves watching golf. Dad loves golf. And even my dad, who really kind of holds his opinions about certain golfers to certain regards, like, he even said, "Is like, I don't like Koepka or DeChambeau," right? But like,
I'll say it straight up, dude. Koepka's, kind of a douchebag, whiny baby, but he needs to win. So, look, putting numbers up is one thing. You're performing. You stop making excuses, and you just got to do it, man. And
yeah,
here's the question:
winning a series, a few in a row, great. If you can't keep your consistency, you lose your reliability.
So here's the question:
I agree with that.
We're talking Ryder Cup. Do you think he was the right pick for the Ryder Cup?
No.
You know what? I would say if he maintained the same wanting to win mentality, which I don't think he did.
No, here's the thing. I actually think out of all the people there, Kupka's the only one who had the "I want to win" mentality.
Okay.
Well, he always brings that, but dude, I'll take somebody that shoots consistently average or intermediate, right, over somebody who does great for a bit and then falls apart for like a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the design of the tournament.
Well, yes, his attitude towards winning is fantastic. Great.
Okay, I don't think he should have been there. He's not a team player. He's an individual. He likes to win. For the strength that he has as an athlete, in a structure of, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to try to win a tournament, I want to win the Masters, I want to win the majors, I show up to the big games, and I want to be the guy. I'd put Kupka in the top 5 if I'm choosing certain players. Put him in a
So-
team event like the Ryder Cup, where you now have to play off of somebody. You got to set somebody up for the next position. You got to know when to say, "Hey, I'm going to throttle back a 3-wood because Nick's better here at 120 yards out than he is at 75 yards out." He's not the guy.
Okay, that I can agree with. So I'm going to go back really quickly. Sorry, we had to plug the phone with the charger here. There we go. That's kind of crooked, but whatever.
Turn it sideways.
Oh, technology. So one thing I want to say is when you watch a show like Full Swing, and you're showing these guys behind the scenes, and the whole point is to show you what they're like outside of golf, outside of
What the challenges are of being a pro golfer.
Yes, and I think the one thing about Brooks Koepka that bothered me, and let me just really quickly say this: when there was the challenge in Vegas at the Wynn between Koepka and DeChambeau, I was kind of pulling for Koepka because in my mind I was like, oh, this dude's like no bullshit. He just he puts up with people talking shit.
You're talking about the match.
Or I'm sorry, the match. You're right.
The match.
The match.
All right.
Sorry.
My 2 cents on that is
the match. But hang on. So, I thought, I like this guy. He'll talk shit very seldomly, but when he needs to talk shit, and he's a cool guy. And then I watched Full Swing, and I'm like, dude, this guy off camera, he's got this beautiful wife, this beautiful house. He's got all these friends that are support, and they're sitting at a table and they're just talking and trying to socialize, and the dude just got his head down and he's just this dud.
He's highly competitive.
And I understand that it's okay to be competitive. It's okay to be competitive, but you blow out the complete. You should be grateful for the amazing things that God's blessed you with in this life of being a professional golfer, and you're being a freaking sour ass because, I'm sorry, you have this multi-million-dollar mansion and you've got these slots for trophies built in your wall, and because you don't have this one trophy,
got to keep going or else it pays the bills, though, man.
But I understand that. But even if you're not winning. Okay.
So here's the question, and it's a very valid point, right? One of the things that Full Swing did, I think, for all Duffers alike, was that eye opener behind the scenes. There's a lot of people that feel like, if you're watching a PGA player, oh, here comes the guy with the golden spoon. He was provided and he made it on tour. He was just, his dad played, so he's obviously going to play, right? Not realizing that's a lot of goddamn work to earn that card. It's a lot of, there are certain advantages, and I'll say it all day long. Charlie's got the best advantage he ever has to go to the PGA Tour. He's going to get a card just for the PGA, for the marketing alone. But he's still got to play. That flash in the pan will be cool for 1 or 2 tournaments if he doesn't even make the cut, right? So you still got to show up to play. And that's just where I think all of these, when you watch the full season of Full Swing, that's the one takeaway that's consistent of every last one of those players, is they show up and go, I want to win, right? I want to be number one. And you have to have that mentality.
I completely agree with you. I think that there is a sense of having that competitive edge. You're focused, you're poised. What's that?
I had meat on the grill and fragged it.
I agree that you have to have that sense of focus, and you've got the drive, the determination. But I mean, look at these guys. At the same time that are out there outside of work, they're working just as hard. They're playing golf, they're practicing, but at the same time, they're enjoying life. You know what I mean? They have
the Scotty Schefflers.
Well,
no. So you're bringing up a valid point. So let me ask you this question. Tiger between 90 to 2000, his most prolific stretch of golf of his career, right?
Yeah.
Won more tournaments. I mean, he won. I think the stats on it were ridiculous. Any tournament he entered, he had a 75% chance of winning. Right? Like it was astronomical, that 10-year stretch. Now, here's what changed in that 10-year stretch. He went longer than everyone who said, "Oh, here comes the next Tiger." When Jordan Spieth hit the scene, and he all of a sudden was winning tournament after tournament after tournament, and he was just showing up and he was playing, "Oh my God, this is great, this is net." And the difference between Tiger's run to a Jordan Spieth, to a Morikawa, to a Ricky Fowler, he changed the game. He changed the purses. What Tiger earned in 10 years, some of these guys did in 2. The money factor completely, to your point, oh, they want to go, they want to live it. Some of them are doing just that. Nobody is putting in the work, sweat, and sweat equity that Tiger did to be prolific as long as he was.
I completely agree with you. And that doesn't make but here's the deal though. Tiger throughout his entire career, even when shit went south, right? Even afterwards, that man still, no matter what happened, what was going on, behind closed doors, any interview, any camera time, that dude still, in my opinion, maintained his humbleness. And he
Tiger's this is what I'll say this. Tiger's got a great camp, right? By those who he surrounds himself with, he's got a great camp. You'll never find the footage of Tiger cruising, the bay like you have Jordan Spieth and Ricky and all these guys playing around shirtless and stuff on the course, something like that. You won't
What's
find
wrong with that? No,
Hold
but
on, hold on.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. That's a different level of maturity is not the word. It's the different level of no, I'm not. Again, this wasn't a negative. That wasn't a negative connotation there.
I'm like the not good at golf version of John Daly. Okay.
So you can't say anything bad about shirtless with this guy because it's just
I say go to the stat books, right? Everything comes down to like a number, right? You can quantify everything in life at some point in time and stretch down to a number, right? I got crucified for this statement, and I'll say it again. Jordan Spieth went off the rails when he got his girlfriend pregnant. Ricky Fowler went off the rails when he got his girlfriend pregnant and decided to get married. When these guys added the family component, that all I do is wake up, eat, sleep, shit, go to golf, I need to win tournaments mentality completely changed.
I agree with you.
Look at JT right now.
When it comes to Tiger, though, I mean, you could tell when he was getting laid by hotel staff because he all of a sudden started playing well.
Well, he had shit to hide. That's a different fear. That's a different fear. That's a different motivation.
I guess my point is from a realistic standpoint. You got guys. I think what I enjoy. I mean, this is just personal to me. Like you got guys that are out there playing that are still. Who wouldn't when you make the money? You're sponsored by Puma and Mercedes and Cobra. Who wouldn't want to live it up a little bit? You might fall off the rails. You might freaking, spend a couple years really just trying to figure life out, spend time with your family, enjoy what's coming in. But then, it was just like in the Rocket Mortgage tournament. Again, and I know I continuously sound biased to Ricky Fowler. I might get a little chub every time I talk about him. That's a different story. But all I'm saying is, man, that dude, he earned that. You know what I mean? He made the world understand that he could come back. That's golf.
That right there is the difference, though. To the example you're giving, he even stated it. And in that pause, in that moment of dropping that putt, it was the holy shit that redefined focus to the game. To compete against the best on the planet has paid off.
But doesn't that make it exciting, though? Isn't that what makes it so diverse and exciting?
That's just human nature. Like the drive for anything, all blood, sweat, and tears, or whatever you put something into, that's the driving factor, right? The loop that got us here was none of that was at the Ryder Cup.
Agreed. And I guess it kind of, our conversation kind of went to how golf should be played on a consistent level. We're comparing golf to like football, talking about like what's his name, the GOAT, football Patriots for a long time.
You can't
Screw that guy. No one speaks his name in this house.
I'm sorry.
I understand.
But that's like talking about Tom Brady in football, right? You got this dude.
No one calls Tom
winning
Brady a
games.
GOAT.
There's got to be like when certain underdogs or certain people have success, they hit their slumps and they come back. I mean, that's what keeps sports.
Everybody wants an underdog story. Everyone watches Rocky for that very fact. No one actually thinks Rocky should have won a fight. It's the fact that it's an underdog story, right?
It's mostly over-under purposes for betting. Okay.
Right. It's the epitome of any underdog story. Look, I can guarantee you could name more underdog stories than you could name I was great from the moment out. Right? It's because that's just, everybody loves the underdog. They like to root because they feel it within themselves. It's every Monday morning quarterback sitting on the couch going, I would have played the game this way, right? Everybody wants that theory of, oh yeah, if I was in there, put me in the game. Very few could step up to that actual moment and be like, okay, let's do it, right? So it wasn't the fact that, like I say, the 12 that went, great, it is what it was. My statements 2 weeks ago were, this wasn't the right 12 to pick against the 12 that were chosen from Europe.
So
right?
after I'm done, I really have to go and drain the vein here. But when I come back, I have I'm sorry. We've been, this Friday, man. Like, this is what we do on Duffers, right? We have to keep the freaking alcohol down. I have a very important question, and I want you to think about this in the next minute.
He's fast.
It goes, yeah. We're not going to go there. I want you to tell me if you could have picked your personal 12 people to go and play the Ryder Cup representing U.S. I want to know who they are, but when I get back.
We'll have to come back to that one there, but I can guarantee you 6 of them would have been chopped right out of the gate. I would have looked at the pool of those playing over at Live. But yeah, hide nor there. I think the overall message in today's, Ryder Cup letdown, I guess you would say. I'm waiting. Go do your thing.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
Just because you've got a bladder the size of a peanut, I mean, goodness.
Yeah. He's a little guy.
Right? But here's the thing. So, because you're the epitome, and you've been tagged. There's some great videos going around as the vibe guy, right? You fit the mold of all duffers out there when you go on to play golf. You don't go out there to play from I'm going to go and shoot the lowest score today. I'm going to track every little, I hit it left off of this tee team. I use this club, and then it was a 1 putt or 2 putt. Like, that's not your desire of play, right? No. You're that vibe. I go out for the fun. I like to have, hit good shots. I want to score, but it's not going to ruin your day if you put a bogey on the card. Right? Where there's players I play with, and there's times and stretches I've been that guy, like, holy crap, I can't believe I put a bogey on the card. I suck. Self-deprecation. Let me put it down on like, I'm so bad. But when you change that mentality and you're looking out here, and you're watching as a fan, here it is. I gotta watch it for Duffers, right? It's part of the job, right? I'm watching this, I'm going, dude, I can't even watch any more of this nonsense. It is that bad. It's like, as a Duffer, I don't even care anymore. You guys are showing and giving me no actual interest. I would have been just slightly more entertained if they would have come off that green, even though they had lost that putt, but they would have hyped up the crowd. They would have walked through that scenario from a team standpoint of what the Ryder Cup is, and would have been chalking it up. Would have slapped you on your ass and come on, it's the next freaking tee box. Let's go.
Right.
They
needed a hype man. They needed me there.
No hype.
Oh, see, that was the problem. Colin wasn't there.
100%. What was even funnier was they started making memes of showing Tiger getting off of private planes like, all right, fuck it. Tiger said screw it. He's coming into play because they knew they needed some sort of hype. And there was none. So that Cava got all that flack from Rory, because he decided to try to bring some sort of hype, to just a dismal showing. I'm Team Cava on that all day long. And he's lucky I wasn't there because I probably would have rushed the green and gave Cava a high five. Fuck Rory. It was so uncalled from his standpoint. It was kind of like, here's the mentality of it. You guys saw the game this last week that was, I think it was the Dolphins were destroying somebody 70 to whatever.
Broncos.
And they chose
Yeah.
And they chose
or something like that.
not kick the field goal and tie the record or whatever it was for most points in the game.
Breakdown of defense.
Yeah. It was in that moment that it shows you the defined difference between all right, we're gonna be good sportsmen, like that. I didn't see that in any way, shape, or form going around the Ryder Cup. It was, to me, when you're down after day one, 6.5 to 1.5, it's kill or be killed. You bring everything you got, right? You fight back with everything you got. You hype up every fan. You hype up whoever your playing partner is. You hype up every shot. There was no energy from Team USA.
Right.
Yeah. So
sometimes you got to take your shirt off, belly dance a little bit, get a cart girl around, take a shot.
100%. There was more. The fans had more skin showing.
Doing it all wrong.
People what they want.
They're doing it all wrong. That's the point. You got to have.
When you're playing for your livelihood, it kind of takes a lot of the fun out.
Yeah.
But here's the battle. Do you think they should have gotten paid to play in the Ryder Cup?
Dude, I think it would have changed the dynamics for sure. I don't.
So, all right. So I guess you look at it this way. So do you feel like the Ryder Cup is slowly becoming the NFL Pro Bowl?
Ooh, good comparison.
Wow.
Yes.
Because here's the scenario again. So it's just the Ryder Cup is a pride factor. Europe versus USA, right? You've been chosen and have qualified through your exploits for the whole year of you doing your job to be selected to this team.
Yeah.
If you know to your core, and we'll use Cantley as an example, that you can really give two shits because I'm not getting paid to play, shouldn't you then decline your I'm good, I don't want to play?
That does change the perspective a little bit. But at the same time,
I agree.
I do agree, but
if you get chosen to play in any USA whatever, right, and to represent the USA.
Well, guys like us,
with like a Buffalo Wild Wings gift certificate, bro.
Like I said, they didn't pay their own way over there, right? They didn't pay for any of the clothes they wore. You were supposed
I would wear
to
them
go
anyways.
up and win points, right, for Team USA.
I think, you know what? I think for guys like us, I think it would be, you know what? We're going to do whatever we can to show these guys what's up and represent our country.
Throw some American PP on the table.
Yeah. So here's the 100%.
Colin might have been taking a piss on the freaking 18th green in the hole just to prove a point.
But here's the point, though. Look at it. Imagine if Ian Poulter would have been there this year. Dude, Team Europe, I think they could have possibly swept because he lives for that tournament. Out of all the tournaments, and he said it. He says it in full swing. Out of all the tournaments, he goes, the one that gives him the most pride is the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Showing up and playing for Europe is like his lifelong, dream. And it's got the best record of any other player, ever to show up and do that. So for him to not even be an option,
Well, and that kind of makes you wonder if they chose the teams for a sense of entertainment value in that regard.
oh, they didn't choose for entertainment value. That's for damn sure.
Well, I'm just saying, man, like you have the best of the best.
It's a showdown.
Okay.
And there was showdown. And that was really kind of one of the things I'm saying is
okay, so it was evenly matched, is what you say. It should have been evenly matched, is what you're saying.
It should have been a 14, it should have come down to 14 to 14 and a half. It should have been like this and that. The Ryder, if you're bringing the best of the best of both sides of Europe and USA to the table to play, neither side should ever be able to run away.
Not a blow
with an entire tournament.
Yeah,
no way. Because at that point, you're telling me, out of the 12 people you could have possibly picked across the entire United States to show up and earn points on USA's behalf, barely could show up and have any.
It should never be a Miami-Denver spread.
But you know what though? But I don't think that if we're going to use that analogy, I don't think that given the guys that were sent out there on behalf of the U.S., it shouldn't have been a slaughter like it was. And honestly, shouldn't have been. The fact of the matter is, whether they chose to or not, they did not show up. In my opinion, their full potential, they could have kicked some ass. Bottom line, and that's not me being biased.
I don't disagree with that statement. And I'll put it back up here for you guys. All right, I didn't say USA sucked. You chose the wrong team. This, and that. It was the letdown. They didn't come prepared.
Agreed.
And to me, if you didn't come even to be like with that enthusiasm to play for Team USA, you want to boycott and not wear a hat because you're not getting paid and you're begrudgingly playing, you shouldn't have been on the effing team. Plain and simple. Right? Now, whether that's hype, whether that's bullshit, whatever the media is playing against it, the reality of it is, when it comes to the Ryder Cup, Team Europe, Team versus USA, it should be a clash of the Titans. It should be battle back and forth, camaraderie on both sides. All the other tournaments, regardless of who is,
and then America wins.
it still was hype. It was still like, oh my God, did you see that putt? Bring it! There was no smack talk. And you brought up a perfect example.
All right.
About the match. When the match was first presented, Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson, the grudge match of grudge matches. Dude, everyone lined up across the nation to watch that.
Oh, so good.
Do you want to know what was so funny about that entire thing? To have such a good idea and watch it flop so bad that pay-per-view refunds your money because it didn't deliver anywhere close. Do you think that was it was one of those are you shitting me? This is seriously how dull you guys are off behind the scenes? You had two of the most prolific golfers ever. Even in a buddy banter, we were more funny in that and anything that we've done filming than these two.
I was. I don't know.
These two ever were. So then to go and say, all right, let's throw on non-golfers into it. All right, good twist.
This is where Duffers needs to write in to whoever handles the match and say, you need to be mic'd up like we're mic'd up.
We should do commentary
and find guys like us
for Ryder Cup.
Oh, that he's got an idea there.
100%. I think that we have an opportunity here from what people really want to hear versus what the paid commentators are getting paid nice to be about. This is what
he fucked that one away, didn't he?
Yeah, there's some truth to be said in this here. I would have called them out. I would have after hole 3 or 4. I'd have been Tiger. Phil, seriously, do you think any of us fucking came here to see you just be prolific about golf? No.
Watch your mouth.
Why don't you tell Phil what you really want to fucking tell Phil? He can't hold your fucking jockstrap and see who's going to put it closer to the fucking pin. Let's hear some shit. Yeah, so when we talk about the match between Ishka and frickin' Koepka, those two, I expected such we're going to have some fireworks. And even Koepka refrained a little bit. He made it very clear.
He's starting to mature. It's image branding. He's starting to mature.
I think he wanted
He's trying to reel in his emotional reaction to his bad shit.
He made it clear he didn't like the guy.
No.
But at the same time, I feel like this is one of those scenarios. It'd have been like the three of us right here going, hey, you know what? They're about to launch a PIP for non-golfers. So why don't the three of us create some bullshit feud and go back and forth? And we're going to post all this shit talking about you can't sling, you look ugly with your shirt off. He's about fucking, the gnome over here is about 3 foot tall, just to get hype in the media so they could turn around and win an extra freaking, $1 million or whatever the hell it was at the end. I think it was $15 million to win the PIP prize to be the most popular person in golf. Fuck off. Tiger did it with one golf swing coming back. Are you shitting me? It was like this is the stuff where I look at it and go, this is getting a little ridiculous and a little.
I think we should explore that.
Yeah. So. maybe your wheels should be turned a little bit now, Dave, because maybe we should create something for Duffers where we have like matches where you have like 2 and 2 or 1 and 1, and the 2 and 2 just talk shit about the other 2 and 2. And it's like
greatest of all Duffers.
Yeah, like we should get like
I'm down for it. You know what? If this is the moment we could take the platform to call out some other freaking Duffers across the nation,
we are so like we gotta do that shit.
We gotta link up with Pick'em Pros.
The Pick'em Pros they're on my hit list. They're still dodging my phone call to set the date for an official date. Great Pinehurst 6. I'd love to take a Duffers crew out against the Pinehurst 6 crew. Let's put them on the mark.
You should have all chapters of Duffers face each other and just talk nothing but shit.
Massive tournament.
I got my whole guys out of Barstool. Even the guys out of Barstool Spot. You ain't got Bob's. Bob does sports, whatever. All those guys. Bring them.
I'll sponsor a hole for the back off challenge.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm all for it. I agree with that 110%.
Yeah.
First of all, a Duffers chapter right here. We're ready to rock and roll.
I trust me, you guys are. That's why I appreciate you guys jumping in this week again. You guys are always welcome here in the 19th hole. With that being said, you did it again. You pushed this to an hour, which was awesome. So cheers up to you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. With that though, we're going to tighten it up because now we're throwing out consequences to golfers all across the nation. In a drunken state. So with that being said, I welcome it. I challenge it. Let's throw them all together. The belt is up, for grabs. It's lucky that it still, sits here with the undefeated Duffer. So I'll gladly put it on the line with any other Duffer, crew across the nation. To these gentlemen's fine point, you're going to be mic'd up and we're going to talk true Duffer shit all the way through. Because that's the only way it should be done. When you're out there having fun and you're having your drinks with your friends and some cold ones with stories to tell, there's no better way to do that. With that being said, we're going to wrap up this week's 19th hole.
It's always optional.
With the Reno chapter, as always, Colin and Nick bringing in the insights galore. Both sides of it all. I think we all agreed at the end of the day, the Ryder Cup was a big letdown. Just like I said, I don't know this guy. I told you guys that before. I don't know them. Nick, I feel bad for you because you're downwind of them.
Dude.
We're
best friends.
It smells all that is bad.
It probably smells like the day he got done being shellback, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. So we want none of that in here. See exactly. So I don't want to even get into that right there. It's I don't know. It's gonna
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Breathe it in. Drink it.
Exactly. So with you guys on stat, I'm going to put you back in the green room for a minute. Don't go nowhere.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, Duffers review the 19th hole. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. If you want to see the challenge come to you, please let me know. We'll be happy to go out, just like I did with these gentlemen here in Reno, to put some golf course and shenanigans down. With that, see you all until next week. Keep on swinging.